Live from New York, from my basement that I don't own, that I rent from some nice guy, Minnesota, where
Closet in
Bobby Joe Woods.
Minnesota.
What?
From a closet in Minnesota.
From a closet in Minnesota, and also from Canada, soon to be the States. It's Hangout Conversations with Matt Rappaport. Woo! Rock and roll. Whoa, that was soon to be guest Lucas Birdman Johnson here on Hangout Conversations with Matt Rappaport. Welcome everybody to Hangout Conversations. I promise everybody that I will not ward quit on you. I will not rage quit. I am here for the duration. So is Bobby Joe Woods and Lucas Johnson. We are excited to have you join us this episode, epic episode number 5. I can't believe we've already had this. Is already our 5th episode, and everything's going awesome. We're very excited to have you join us live. If you're watching on YouTube, thank you for watching. We appreciate it. If you're on Google Plus or you're not on Google Plus, you should. It's really a cool platform. This is a Hangout platform. Hangout with extras right now, and we have a live show where we chat with someone one-on-one. Today's guest is Lucas Johnson. And then afterwards, we have a Conversations Plus show where we invite you, the audience, the viewers, to come in here. And sorry, Bobby Joe's show just was distracting me with with the pressure. She's putting the pressure on already, Lucas. Already, I feel pressure.
It's like the voice whispering in your ear.
It's like, what is going on? I know,
Yeah,
the chat room.
cool.
For those of you that can't see, we have a chat room and Hangout with extras or Hangout. And she's typing to me, and she types every which way. And sometimes I feel bad if I ignore it, and usually I ignore the good stuff because I'm too busy talking to you, the viewers. But we have a great show, a lot of surprises, a lot of special things coming up. I want to talk about Google Plus, what's going on. Google Plus just had a live special hangout with the Dalai Lama and the Archbishop Desmond Tutu for his birthday. And I guess what happened was China was not allowing the Dalai Lama to fly to see Tutu, and so Google Plus had a live broadcast of it on YouTube Live through Hangouts, and there were a lot of YouTube Hangout streaming parties late at night. It was 4:30 in the morning. It was sort of like within 24 hours. I knew about it 5-6 hours before it happened. It was pretty cool. The conversation was okay, but I think it was more interesting to see two
Just the
renowned
technology
leaders, the
using that
technology,
data.
yeah, and just to see that voice is Lucas Johnson, yeah, just to see the fact that Google was using the technology with world leaders a couple months old. This technology, this platform, and that was pretty interesting. And a lot of people were watching on viewing parties through Hangouts all through the night, all through the morning. People don't go to sleep anyway, but they were staying up. And
I think that's the really cool thing about the Hangouts is that like you can apply that same kind of model to a lot of different things in the educational aspect, even like the conversational learning about different cultures and really exchanging ideas that you wouldn't normally hear in person necessarily, and bringing that to the forefront is really cool.
yeah, for sure. And there's a lot more conversations that they're going to have. I know they have one with Tom Anderson, and there was a photography Trey Ratliff, and it's pretty interesting to see what happened. I mentioned Ward Quit at the top of the hour, and it's interesting to note that was made into a meme. And what's interesting about that is, with Google Plus in general, is that a lot of things are made into memes pretty, right overnight. A lot of things just blow up, and it's amazing to see people create content based on a meme. You know, the big one, Occupy Sesame Street, which was really cool, based on Occupy Wall Street, which was really funny, that was going around. But the Ward Quit, and for those of you that don't know the origin of it, there was a viewing party, and a group of people in Hangouts that most of us know were watching the Dalai Lama. And now with mobile Hangouts, which is fascinating, you can connect to a Hangout through your phone. But the thing is, the mute only works for the person on the phone. So you come in, and it's hard on the mobile. It's hard to really see and hear totally when you're outside at 4:30 in the morning and it's dark, and you might be drunk, and you might have a little bit of an
You
ego.
might be drunk.
You may be drunk. You may want to be showing your friend what's going on. And so someone came in named Steve Ward, no names, and he made some lewd comments, I think because he was annoyed that people weren't paying him attention, and he was a little bit annoyed that everyone was watching the Dalai Lama, which, I mean, I think that he could have handled it better, but I understand why he was annoyed, because he wanted to talk to people, and that's what Hangouts usually are. And I think that that's what it was. Actually, what happened was interesting, because now it's kind of showing Google and us, well, mobile Hangouts are cool, but the person on the mobile Hangout versus the people on desktop or laptops, there's a disconnect, because that person is, in a different kind of state of mind. They have the phone in their hand. They're not necessarily locked into the Hangout. They're a little distracted by what's going on. They might be walking somewhere, and they might not have headphones, and there's a lot of noise, background noise.
And yeah, there's a lot of noise around where you are. I mean, we're usually inside, and the noise factor is a little more controlled. But if you're outside on the street, like, it's hard to gauge exactly how much noise you're hearing and you're putting into it, because your frame of reference is a little off. But it is what it is.
Yeah, it is what it is. But it was kind of interesting that that led to a whole people wanting apologies. Some people wanted real apologies. Some people just wanted to continue the Dolly drama, I call it. And plus Peter McDermott, who we had last week. You'll catch that episode soon. Wink, wink.
Mm-hmm.
He interviewed Steve Ward personally, and yeah, no problem, Bobby Joe. That's cool. We're playing it. Usually Lucas Johnson is blacked out, but he did play the intro. I've given him some respect. Bobby Joe wants to mafia your butt and have you blacked out, but I don't want to hear. I don't want you to be a certain hangouter and always be in the dark. Who said that? I want to see your face when you talk for some reason. I don't know why. You have a beard. You have the epic beard that killed Chuck Norris with one roundhouse swoop. That was part of the intro.
It took a little while, but
Yeah, it took a little while. Chuck
strength
Norris
in numbers, I guess.
Chuck Norris has a lot of testes, but yeah. So it was interesting to watch that whole thing unfold. And now Steve Ward has apologized, and I think the whole thing has kind of moved on. But forever, Ward quit, inspired by a rage quit. Even though I don't necessarily know that he didn't necessarily quit himself, he was kicked out by someone. So I don't know if that's why. I don't understand why it's called Ward quit. More like Ward fired or something, or Ward boot maybe.
Yeah.
What's that all about? I don't know.
It's its own verb now.
Yeah, I know. It's pretty crazy how that
You've
happens.
been awarded or something. I don't know.
Definitely. But moving on from that, another thing that happened in the news: the iOS 5 was released, and it didn't take me. It took me a couple hours. The iOS 5 is software for the iPhone, and I guess iPad too, as well. I'm not sure. Some people were making it work with that, and it's all right. Lucas has had it actually in advance. He's special, but.
Well, no, I mean lots of people have had developer accounts for it. Yeah, I mean, yeah, but I didn't play around with the Siri thing. I just played around with the iCloud element of it and the Twitter integration. It's very cool. It's about time that they got the actual internet, the actual phone and hardware working right with the internet kind of aspect, because Mobile Me was. Yeah.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
you.
So it was very cool to back up everything to the cloud. I'm glad that Steve Jobs actually made headway in the music industry and finally kind of made some progress on that front, because something had to happen, right? I mean, the iTunes Match thing is a cool idea. I'm not sure exactly when that's out, but I mean, everybody knows the principle of what it is.
Oh wait, why don't you just give a background on that, since you mentioned
it? It's basically that if you pay $25 a year, you can upload your own. Well, it's not really uploading your own music. It'll fingerprint your library and then check it against what's in stock on iTunes, which is a lot, obviously.
Wow.
So chances are they already have that music. So, I mean, people can say that it's cleansing pirated music, but I mean, if that music's already on your system anyways, it's you can give $25. Or the industry can get $25 or nothing at all.
And
the
that's
one
a way to
concern
discover
I'd have is that
new artists, or that way, or
yeah, it's kind of the problem with it though, because that's in partnership with major labels and they're getting all the money. So the indie labels, I don't know how much they're actually going to see of it. Probably not much, if any. I mean, but it's discovery and it's pushing forward, I think, and that's fundamentally what artists need to focus on, is actually pushing stuff forward, using new technologies creatively, and yeah, not looking backwards but looking forwards and making that a priority.
it'll be interesting. Yeah, that'll be interesting to see when it comes out. And I like what they did with the iOS 5. I mean, it's definitely different. The notifications are less annoying. I had the Google Plus notifications turned off, and now I turn them on, and it's not annoying because it doesn't take over your phone. It's at the top of your phone. And actually, when I go into the notification center, before I had nothing, because I turned all the notifications off. So now it's cool to have them on, and and really get use out of the phone more than I was. But
Yeah, the
besides
user
that,
experience is really well thought out. I'll give them that. I mean, it's it's not a new technology per se, but it's like it's classic Apple style that they're taking technology that's already around and making a really good user experience out of it.
how's that coffee there,
Yeah, that's what they do.
Mr. Tim
It's
Hortons?
amazing, absolutely amazing.
Awesome. I was gonna have I had a bunch of coffee. I had the Seattle brand. Right now I just have some water. Poland Spring sent us some money. What? Who said that? I can't. I don't think I'll ever be able to go a whole episode without saying who said that. It's like a hangout. It's a
Yeah,
meme. And
yeah,
in fact,
I
there's a meme list that was created that I want to get to in the post show with everybody
Oh,
and
really?
get their reactions
I'd like
to
to see that.
stuff that's on that list. And it's a growing list, of course. And the last thing before we get to our guest, not that he needs to get to him that soon. Let's make him wait. He doesn't need to wait. Oh, look, there he is. The new thing that Google Plus, they keep releasing features, and there was actually an article with Bradley Horowitz that said it's absolutely a feature race. A lot of people, and there was some tech people that said, oh, and even Tom Anderson said, oh, it's not about the features.
Was that taken out of context when he said that? Because I read that article too. Like, what was the entire thing of that? Because I feel that that was taken.
I think someone actually asked him about it. I think someone asked him
No,
directly.
no, I know it was from an actual interview, but like, what was like the before? Like, what did he say before that and after that? Because there was like a little snippet taken out of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there probably was. I don't really
But
know.
I don't know.
That
It's
they left
I
out.
mean, even if they think of it that way, I think the fundamentals are a little different. And for me, I mean, it's the whole Hangouts thing. I mean, that's what's important, right? That's the selling point of this entire platform. That's what you can get the most out of. That's what's different. That's what I mean. That's why we're all still here, right? I mean, at least me. That's why I spend this much time on this platform is because the Hangouts, not so much of the actual posting stuff.
To remind me,
I love the interaction, but like meeting people in this way and that organically is definitely the whole appeal to me at this point.
Yeah, I'm trying to focus myself. For some reason, I have manual focus, autofocus. I love putting autofocus on, see if that makes a difference. But for some reason, my focus has been off, and I don't know if it's the Hangout with extras. My focus was fine on the regular Hangout. Let's see if that made a difference. It's kind of blurry. I don't know why my face is so blurry.
You just got too much mojo going. It can't handle your
I can't handle my mojo. I think it might also be because I have the Procaster running at the same time as the webcam, which is probably why it's messing up.
Yeah.
So pretend the guy that you think is handsome. Pretend like that's here. Look, there you go. All of me. You can still hear my voice. But yeah, I don't really know. I think it is a features race, and he said it was, and it really is. But what was interesting out of the whole thing is a Google employee named Plus Steve Yegge, or Yeggge. He actually made a comment. He's not like any major employee. He just made a comment that Google needs to change their thinking or step up their game, and they asked Bradley about that. And of course, he was probably caught off guard. But he basically, Google people are entitled to all their opinions, and that was the gist of it. And this guy took down that post and put up a new post, which has like plus 1,005 by now, or 1,050, whatever, something major.
I think it was kind of cool to actually see, like get a little bit of feedback on how hard they are with each other internally. I mean, I think that's important. They need to push each other, and I mean, there's so many people trying to do the same kind of thing that you have to demand greatness from everybody around you. Maybe it was like a rally the troops kind of thing, or maybe it was just out of frustration, or a little bit of both. But to me, it was like seeing the human side of the company even a little more, and it was kind of reassuring.
Yeah, I think so too, but I do wonder...
I'm sure their marketing department would disagree with that.
Right,
but...
and the PR department, but I think that this guy probably is okay, but I do think he's having trouble sleeping, and I do think that even though they said one thing, I don't necessarily know how that's going to affect his promotions down the road, but hey, we'll see what happens. And also,
it could go one of two ways. So.
It could go one of two ways. If he produces enough cool stuff, they're not going to care as much, because they don't want to lose someone cool. And also, I think I was going to talk about this, but I noticed, and if those of you still using Facebook, which is probably most of you, even if you don't admit to it, Facebook released their new Facebook app.
I still use Facebook.
Yeah,
Man,
yeah, you do.
As soon as they released Spotify for Facebook, I was like for any musician, you have to go where the people are, and I kind of posted about this before. Like, I think one of the cool things is that they're both very useful to musicians if you use them for different areas. Like, this is kind of like, and I made a post a while about this could be the kind of like the brainchild and the actual place where it gets created, and then Facebook can kind of be the venue of where you actually play it and where you discover it. But where, like, there's so many great minds on here. That's really the whole gold of it, is that it connects you with very talented people that you wouldn't normally meet in everyday life, and a lot of really cool different collaborations can come of that. And now with the method of discovery from Spotify on Facebook, that's useful in its own way as well. So I don't think it should be a battle between. I think it should be like elevating everything. You use everything for what it is.
Yeah. No, Spotify has been pretty cool, and I enjoy what they're doing with Spotify and people making fun of each other for what music they listen to, and
Yeah.
I think I've seen stuff like people leave comments like, I can't believe, like, I never knew my friend so and so likes so and so, and I'm embarrassed for them, and,
Yeah.
and blah blah blah.
I'm sure there's
It's
gonna
like
be a
there's
little bit of
nothing
that.
wrong with listening to 80s music. What? Who said that? But really, the funny thing about it all is that they released this Facebook app, the new version, and I think it's related to the iPad app that they didn't release. Maybe that's why it looks different. But it's got it's a basic layout, but it has like this side. I don't know if you could see that. It has like the side pop out now, which maybe you had it for a
That's
while too.
interesting.
Yeah, the update. Did you update your Facebook app? Yeah, it has a side
No,
pop
I
out
mean,
and.
I use the Galaxy 2 now, so I'm.
Oh, all right, you don't have that. Yeah, yeah. So it has, and it has like, it looks more like the website. It has like the globe at the top and
Gotcha.
and different things. Yeah. So that was interesting, and I had like 63. For some reason, when I updated my iOS 5, I had like 65 apps to update, and that was a pain in the butt. So I don't. It was pretty funny.
How many apps total do you have on your phone?
Over 300,
Roughly.
350,
Holy
320,
I
something.
see. I never even broke the 100 mark on the iPhone 4. I don't. Yeah. What's your like top 5 that you go to almost every day?
Oh, that's a good question. I mean, I do Google Plus for sure. I still check Facebook. I have Words with Friends. It keeps me sane sometimes, but
Yes. My dad absolutely loves that app.
yeah, it's
awesome.
great. Yeah, the news and a bunch of news apps and some sports apps, and that's pretty much, those are the top. And YouTube is getting more leverage now.
Do you do the Twitter thing, and if so, like which app do you use?
Yeah, I
for
just
that?
have the Twitter app. I mean, I know there's a lot of apps out there because I don't really need to do anything major on Twitter. I just want to check like one basic account. I wish I could have a Twitter. I think there must be some that you can log in all your accounts, right? Because I have a bunch of Twitter names,
yeah.
but because Twitter's like that, just because when you're doing different things, right? I mean, especially if you're a person and then you have a Hangout conversation show, you might want your own Twitter, or if you have your
so
own
you want to
music
have
studio.
a different branding, and then
Yeah.
your personal one or stuff like
Totally. What about you? What are your top apps? All music apps, or?
that. No, actually, no. Most of the music stuff I do is I'll do it on the MacBook Pro, but when I was using the iPhone more, now I'm pretty much all Android. I really like the Moog, app that they have on there. That was really cool. There's a couple like music generation ones. The Ocarina thing is pretty cool. I think it's Ocarina. And yeah, there is some, actually, the new Bjork app. Oh my God!
Wow.
That is something that to me
What
was
is
a
the
little
Bjork
mini
app?
bit
Do I
of a
want to
revelation.
know what the Bjork app is? Is it all about Bjork, or?
It's actually really cool. She made her last album in conjunction with an iPhone app, and I love Bjork to death for stuff like this. Whenever I see a new bit of music technology that comes out, I'm like, who the hell would use that, like, in an actual band concert context? And sure enough, I'll get like a Bjork DVD or Studio Live, and she'll be using it. Like, she'll be one of the first people integrating it into what she does. And it was like that with the rec table, which is basically like you have little shapes, and those shapes have like an actual effect or a wave file associated with them, and you drop them on a table, and it's very interactive, and then you can put other blocks, and it affects the signal path going back and forth. Anyways, she made an iPhone app that influenced the writing of the album, and they were made in conjunction as a very collaborative thing, very interwoven, so that when you play with the app, you can be moving around the space and you actually hear the audio spin from left to right, and then when you move around, it does different things to the audio. It's just
So when you buy the app,
if
are
you
you
haven't-
buying?
if
Are
you
you
haven't-
buying the
if you
album
haven't tried
too?
it.
When you buy the app?
Yeah, I buy everything that she puts out there. I just absolutely go insane. I buy every DVD she puts out. I buy every CD she puts out. Yeah.
Cool. And did you like? I saw John Mayer did something pretty technological recently too. Is that, or I don't know how long ago that was. He did something with green screen and something with the internet. I could be wrong. Do you know? Do you know what I'm talking about? I just caught a glimpse of it.
I'm not sure.
Maybe
did he
maybe,
just
maybe
like
with
throw
Blitz or
out like a
something.
green screen thing to let people remix the video kind of thing, or?
Maybe, I don't know exactly. We'll have to do some research. If you're out there, let us know if you found that. And I just want to give a shout out. We have a bunch of people watching. Former guest Mike Stinger, Muppet Hat Guy, Stacy Frazier,
Yo,
Stacy's
Mike.
mom's
Hey,
got it going
hey.
on. Leo Allen, Nathan Weinberg, P. Eileen
Hey.
Sharp, Paul Rouston, who is the body painting expert. We'll have him on the show eventually. And awesome, someone else that we lost a couple of viewers. Come back! Don't go anywhere! We didn't even introduce the guest yet. You don't even know who the guest is! You have no idea. And in fact, what I was going to talk about on Google, I wasn't even going to go into Bradley Horowitz. I was going to talk about the fact that now Google's latest release has released hashtags and more recent search results. And we knew it was coming. We know that Google, it only makes sense for Google with all the different things they're doing. They're going to keep things on the internet that people are used to and comfortable with. So hashtags only make sense. People were using them I was using them plus as a hashtag, thinking maybe they would do that. But Roustan, I don't know. Bobby Joe's trying to correct your name, Paul Roustan. You must be French, I don't know. Anyway,
Sorry, Paul.
sorry, Paul, I'm not. He says Roustan. Roustan? Alright, Paul, I'm sorry. It's like with Tony Ruse or Tony Rouse. I was like, it's Rouse, right? Ruse, you say Rouse, I say Ruse. He's a trickster, that one. So yeah, the hashtag things are pretty cool. You click on it and it'll give you all the search results, and then you'll see the newest search results.
I like going to that page too and being able to play the stream of incoming, and you can actually pause it kind of thing at the same time. I think that was a pretty cool addition to it. Actually watching it, like having kind of like a filtered stream in a way, because you still can't. I guess I haven't really tried an extension to only show certain circles, but I mean that's kind of something that I'd want built into the system rather than an extension doing it. But it's cool to see it in actual search. So
yeah, I'd like to see all that too. Everyone would like to see their stream.
I'm sure
it's
coming in one way or another.
Yeah, and probably that's what I was getting to with the feature article that he was saying. We've only seen the very basics. He said that circles and profiles and streams and a bunch of things, you can do very interesting things with that kind of thing. And so basically,
they already have like Vic did a little thing about that. They already have like a roadmap of a lot of features coming out, and I mean it is still in its infancy, and it's it's cool, it's good. I mean it's all healthy competition, and we benefit when that happens. So.
We do, and I don't think it's fair for people to even talk about Google Plus being dead or being no chance against Facebook. It doesn't even make any sense.
Well,
to
I
me
mean, what's funny
new.
is that whenever people say that, you can go to their profile and see that they haven't,
They're not
generally publicly posted, or at least, hung out or done anything, which I get the most out of the site from. So I mean, it is how you use the tools. I mean, the tools are there. It's up to you to use them however you feel that they should be used. But I mean, I think that people are just jumping the gun, and part of journalists' jobs is to stir the pot a little bit.
Right.
And I think there's a little bit of ignorance.
They're trying to get people, readers, and all that stuff. So
yeah, and I mean, they need to make drama, and I mean, it's a lot easier to sell controversy or sell negativity than positivity a lot of the time.
Right, and if you want drama, you definitely need to come to Google Plus, because Google Plus is full of it. Hangouts and the stream, and it's amazing. And the cool thing about, like I've said before, the reason I'm doing the show, meeting people that I meet on Hangouts, is that Hangouts put a 3D person, a person in front of you. You see what they look like. You can't smell them, except for I think James Williams, who thinks he needs to smell good before he hangs out, which is fine. That's his preference. I don't know. But my point is that you get to interact with someone for real. You get to see what they're like, just more than just writing on a stream.
You get to see the reaction on their face, and it's kind of it also has the other effect of it's just not how you see somebody, it's also how the other person acts, because they're aware that somebody's watching them. So I mean, there is that element of it that you actually act a little differently because you're aware that somebody's watching.
Elaine Sharp says something. I'm sorry, in the audience. Hey, Nick I'm going to screw this name up because that's Kubrilovic did an analysis of the stats of G plus fading, and it was definitely misinterpreted. But a lot of people had talked about, G plus fading, and I think it's premature to talk about anything fading. It just started.
Dude, I'm sorry, but like I get about 100 times more engagement on this site than I ever do on Facebook,
Right.
and I've tried posting the same kind of content. So I mean,
Right.
yeah, people can say what they want, but I mean, I personally, I get a lot more out of it. I know a lot of other artists that do as well. So I mean,
Concerts and hangouts,
what it is.
music and hangouts. Yeah,
Yeah, even
more
even
engaging.
concerts aside, the collaborations and the really creative ways of moving the music making process to the cloud, I think is
Totally.
that wouldn't have happened for me on Facebook.
That was PJ.
So,
So while we're at it, I mean, you've already met Lucas Johnson in a sense, but our guest tonight is an audio engineer, a sound designer, a producer, a composer, a musician, a bass player, a fashion consultant, a mixer, a DJ, an
not
editor.
a fashion consultant.
He's not
people.
okay. That's a lie. He's a coffee and tea
Just
aficionado.
basically anything
TD addict.
anything audio related I do.
Anything he likes to do air guitar. You can't really hear that too well.
Yeah.
And he's a master at karate. But he also, like again, his beard defeated Chuck Norris's roundhouse kick in one swoop. He's Canadian. He's from the Great White North. He's an amazing person, and a pleasure to have him with us. He hails all the way from around Toronto. Lucas Johnson, welcome to Hangout Conversations. It's been so long since we've talked.
No, it's nice to meet you, Matthew. How's it going?
Oh, nice to meet you too, eh? It's good to have you on the show.
What's it all about? Dude?
What is it all about?
Yeah, I screw that up even when I try to do it.
It's so hard to say a boot because I just want to kick someone. But hey, there's actually been some interesting stuff in the chat. Mike Stenger actually chimed in. He's being funny. I like to include everybody in the audience. He said, "May I recommend that past guests receive a free meal for tuning into new episodes of Hangout Conversations? I'm too lazy. I'm too lazy.
Hey.
But yeah, well, Mike, I don't know how I'm gonna get you a free meal. I'm in New York. You're in Ohio. I could send you a voucher. I don't know, maybe for
Yeah.
I don't know, Tim Hortons maybe." And he wants to know when Lucas is going to buy him a plane ticket to San Francisco so he can finally meet him in person when he moves out of Canada. Really, Mike? Do you have a response to Mike Stinger, the Muppet Killer? He does wear a hat.
I think he should fly himself out and introduce himself. No, that's cool though. I mean, I definitely think it would be cool if I came out. I definitely I mean, I've met so many cool people on Google Plus that I'm actually trying to like set up a little bit of that because we're actually driving from Canada to San Francisco.
You're
to move
driving?
there in,
How that's
like,
got
2 weeks.
What is it? A 2-week
So
drive?
I'm actually like setting up a couple hangouts in real life, I guess we're calling it, whatever.
That's cool.
And along the way, so I think that's going to be really cool, and I'll do like vlogging from the road and writing
Take pictures and stuff.
Rest. Yeah,
That's
exactly,
cool.
yeah.
So I skipped this last week because I was so excited, but I'm not going to skip this week. Before I usually start the show, now that we're like 5 hours into the show. Sorry, the show goes about 10 hours. This is like the Cliff Roth speed painting. For you, 8-hour session. Those of you that have no idea. Random question time. Would you like number 1, number 2, number 3, or number 4?
I like green, so I'll go number 2.
Number 2 for 5 billion gazillion credits on Angry Birds. Is there a song,
Seriously?
band? What? No, I don't know. I'm just messing. I don't even know. Are there credits? Are there credits on Angry Bird? I think it's a free game.
I don't
Why
even
must
know.
you kill my joke? No, I was kidding. Is there a song, a band, or even a music genre that you really can do without, that you're not a big fan of? I know you don't want to insult artists, but is there a song, band, or genre that comes to mind that you just wish would go away? What? Did you say dubstep? Who said that?
No. I mean, I really like some of the new dubstep. Absolutely love what Skrillex is doing. Porter Robinson, who's signed to his label now, is doing some amazing stuff. Glitch Mob too. But in terms of genres, I always made a point of knowing all different kinds of genres, playing in all different kinds of bands, and really taking all of that stuff and taking little bits and pieces and adding it into one. The one thing that I would say is that I really wish that artists would be more mindful about being creative in other ways than just how they write music, so how they're heard, how they interact with their audience, and really bring the creative aspect to every element of it. So that applies to any artist. Forget about genre.
Right.
I mean, I think that artists in general should expect more of what they do and push their craft further and not try to be so self-important about what they do. I mean, the number one thing is I think that you should take your ego out of your creation a little more than it has been.
I'm sorry to interrupt. Bobby Joe wants to know if you can get more light. If you could turn on another light.
Oh, yeah. Hold
Or
on.
is that okay? Cool.